So the North America's Top Snowmobiler competition has been a pretty big thing for the past 2 seasons, and the first year's winner, Troy Burt, was someone who I think inspired all of us at SnowTrax, and hopefully all of you out there as well. I mean, just with his attitude of nothing's gonna stop me. And the truth is, after spending a fair bit of time with him, being at heydays with him, it'd just be perfect to go out and ride with this guy and see what it's all about, see how he, how much he hangs it out there, how much he dangles, because he sure talks a lot about it. I thought, hey, let's put something together. Called Troy up and he said, well, I'm out in Alberta right now, but tell you what, I'll come back to Newfoundland, we'll meet up, we'll go for a good ride. So for this trip, we're riding in Newfoundland. It's on the east coast of Canada. I'm from Ontario, which is kind of central Canada. Obviously, we needed to fly out there. I didn't want to drive, so we jumped on a plane, and sure enough, we could make it right into the town that we were going to be riding with Troy from. The only thing was, we wanted to grab some brand new Ski-Doos, and so a quick call to Ski-Doo got us hooked up with them. But the dealership that we were going to work with, which is Notre Dame Recreation, was a few hours away. Cool thing was, Troy's a few hours away where he flies into, so he was coming right up past the dealership. He grabbed the sleds, threw them on his sled deck for us, and brought them in. And I mean, we were pretty stoked because Ski-Doo hooked us up with 2 brand new 2017 850 Summit SPs. Well, we're in Deer Lake. It's been a good day flying. It's snowing here. It was snowing in Halifax all the way over, so excited about that. We're gonna ride with Troy Burt, who's North America's Top Snowmobiler Year 1 winner. And I'm excited because I have no idea what to expect. Hello, how you doing? Oh, not much. We're just trying to leave the airport here, figuring out where we're going. Do you want to go down for breakfast at 7 or something like that and head out at 8 or something? Is that a good time, or is that too late or too late? So we flew into Deer Lake because that's right where Troy wanted to ride out of. It's close to this place called Gross Mourne National Park. And it's, I guess, the only national park in all of Canada that you can ride snowmobiles in, which is pretty cool. Oh, Deer Lake Motel, they said, was supposed to be a good restaurant. Troy will tell us where it's good tomorrow. Tonight we're on our own. It's an adventure. For this trip, I told Troy, I said, hey man, you might as well bring along one of your buddies, the guys that you like riding with. So he brought along Adam, and I mean, these 2 guys, they're like just the most solid people. We all started off a little slow because it's a different time zone, and the time zone's also, I think, the only place I can think on Earth that's got a 30-minute out time zone. So we literally met up at the hotel in the morning, headed out to the gas station to make sure that we got our park passes and our trail passes and fill up the sleds with fuel, grab some food and trail side lunches, some beef jerky or meat gum as we like to call it.
The new summit is unfortunately in Alberta this trip. I live up there now, I work in Alberta and sled out in BC and whatnot every chance I get, and I left this one home here so I could come home and have something sensible to use when I was around. Last year, after winning North America's Top Snowmobiler, I built a relationship with the SnowTrax team. They took me to Dallas and then to heydays. And I was trying to get them to come to Newfoundland to ride. And eventually I got the call. AJ said he was coming, so I got very excited. Well, me and my friend Adam Greening, we met almost 9 years ago. And we've been riding every winter ever since. Winter riding, snowmobiles, dirt bikes, Sea-Doos, whatever we can, we're 2 active people. When he does something, I gotta do it. I gotta do it better. Or he gotta do it better than me.
So I've known Troy for, like he said, about 9 years now. We've gotten to be good buddies over the years. And just recently, Troy had the opportunity to ride with SnowTrax television, and he called me up, and it was something that I was going to do.
Just take it home here, boys.
It was going to be a great trip because when you get around people who are just really comfortable, they're snowmobilers. I mean, it feels like family. That's what snowmobiling is all about. Anybody you run into, as long as they don't have an ego, they're all good people. And Troy and Adam were going to be good crew for this trip. We were going to come out with a good story, and I could tell from the way they talk, the size of the bumpers on their sleds, we were going to get into some gnarly stuff.
What's the plan for today?
Plan is, there is no plan.
Is that the way the Newfoundlanders do it?
That's how we Newfies do it.
All right, onwards and upwards.
first day of riding, we went into the Sinkhole. It's an area just northwest of Cormac, Newfoundland. And it's about a 35-kilometer ride in on a groomed trail. The Sinkhole is a tourist attraction. People go in, there's a big hole in the ground, to be blunt.
In typical SnowTrax fashion, when we show up somewhere, it's never like bluebird days and pristine weather. It's always the biggest snowstorm of the year coming in. And sure enough, it seemed like central Newfoundland was about to get about 100 centimeters of snow. That's a pretty big snowstorm, and we're gonna be riding right in the middle of this.
Our first day riding into the Sinkhole, we experienced backcountry tree riding. It was fairly technical. We had some cornice drops, hopovers, had a few minor wipeouts. We don't have the big, long chute climbs of British Columbia and the Rocky Mountains. Our hills are short, steep, and quick. And usually, the run out is into trees. So you have to make sure if you don't make it, you get the machine stuck on the hill.
The area that we were riding in was really cool because it's almost like you took the Rocky Mountains and shrunk them down. The hills are smaller, but there's still the snowpack. You've still got huge cornices. I mean, I'm talking like avalanche terrain cornices, some places that we looked at and I thought, man, it'd be really cool to ride up there, but I just don't think we should. We got into some pretty cool stuff. We found some pockets of snow because it was blowing so much. We wanted to get off in the trees because we knew that that'd be where the powder packs up. We got into all kinds of stuff. I mean, we were rolling sleds over and tipping them down hills. And it just stopped the sled dead. I went over the top and tumbled down. And then it starts coming down towards me. It got me locked in the tree there. I was between it and the tree.
Oh, God. Because I went up above. And I was looking and I said, you know, that might be pretty good.
I think if we come from around the back side of those trees, I think we could probably hit that just about wide open and just, I mean, it's not going to throw too far, but maybe it'll just pop.
Virgo?
Yeah, I'm going to give it a try. From the snowcross days, I'm always looking for some kind of a hit or some kind of a jump. I think Luke and I both do that whenever we go anywhere. We're always looking for that next big line and that next big jump. One area, we were filming, doing some side hilling and doing some cool riding, but I just noticed this one little hump and I thought, oh man, that'd gap right over this road just perfectly, and sent into it at a pretty good pace, and sure enough, it was a decent little gap jump. After that, I could see Adam from his snowcross experience days. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that too. And we lined up another line that was even better packed in, and he sends it over.
It was recording when I was down like this. I put it hit record and then turn it off. Do it again, Adam.
Yeah. All right, I'll try it one more time.
That's with me.
I'll get some juice on her this time.
Looked nice. It's fun, eh? Some of those little things that you just look at and you're kind of like, well,
I can do that.
I don't know. I think it could be good, you know, especially with a little. You could see it in Troy's eyes. At first, he was like, no, I don't need to do that. And as Adam told me, Troy, when everybody else does it, he's going to do it, and if nobody else does it, he's going to do it.
It was a little stormy, so me and Troy decided to take the guys into the Sinkhole. It was a scenic area, and there's some nice tree riding in there.
I'll read everything here. It sounds really like I know what I'm talking about. The Lomond Sinkhole.
So the Sinkhole is this weird anomaly out in the middle of, it seems like absolute nowhere, but it's right off the sled trail. It's got to be every bit of 100 feet down into it, but I think it's probably more like 125 or 150 down in. It almost looks like you could ride that on your butt down.
Yeah.
It looks like a couple people have. I'm gonna go for it, and I'll tell you what, that was it was quick going down in. Well,
They're just going down.
Let us know what it looks like from the bottom, eh?
Sure enough, on the way through, you see these holes where it must be just the heat from the earth coming up and out is melting from the bottom up, and there's holes that go down 5 and 6 feet. So good thing we didn't fall in any of them.
So we ended up sliding down on our butts like a bunch of kids down to the bottom of the sinkhole.
Hold it up. Hold on. Hold on. Woo! Great smoking turkey. I was 12 years old, GT snow racer, no problem.
Get down in the bottom. It's really cool. There's this big ice structure that comes out from the top, and I guess in the summertime there's a nice waterfall running in there. And down in the bottom, it's just all old shale stone. You know, there's huge icicles hanging off the ceiling you got to watch out for. And this is the kind of thing that if you come out here, you want to go check it out, because I don't know anywhere else that I've seen in North America that's got a big massive hole like this that you can snowmobile to, and you can walk right down in the bottom. You can get some pictures. It's neat because the sound down there is very dead because you're completely surrounded.
This is the first time I've ever been down here. It's pretty cool.
Then we decided, okay, well, it's time to get out of here. And you look back up at the hill and you go, well, it's, you know, it's snow. It's not going to be that hard getting out. And sure enough, it's almost solid ice going up and out. So we all made it up and out, but it was a little interesting at times. And truth be told, probably the most aggressive thing was the cameraman, Mark, getting out with a tripod and a camera and filming us as we're doing it. I mean, I guess on top of that, Troy doing it with 5 toes is pretty aggressive too. So we had a good time. We enjoyed it, and it's cool because I've heard people talk about the sinkhole in Newfoundland, but I didn't know what it was and I didn't know where it was. Now I do. It was just a great day. I really enjoyed myself. We were all pretty darn tired at the end of this. I mean, we're only riding at 1,600 to 2,000 feet, which our bodies aren't working all that hard, but we're pretty confident it was going to be an early night to sleep and get some food in our belly and get ready for day 2. Riding in Newfoundland with Troy Burt, North America's top snowmobiler, year 1 winner, it's been a great experience. Our first day was just jam-packed full of fun and just a good time with him and Adam. Seeing that Newfoundland this is not a flatlander's paradise. This is a little bit of everything. You can come out here and you can do a little bit of whatever you want. I mean, most people you see are riding big inch sleds, and I knew day 2 was going to be just as good as day 1. So for day 2, we're going to be heading out a little bit further in the trucks with the trailers and the sled deck, and we're going to go to the Western Brook Gorge. But to see this gorge, you kind of got to have good sight lines, good visibility, and it was snowing a little bit too hard for that. The trip in to where we were going to unload, I mean, there's drifts on the road like 18 inches deep, and they feel pretty heavy. So we kind of thought, well, we might not make it where we want to go, but that was going to be okay, because pretty much anywhere out here, you pull off the side of the trail, you're going to find sweet little pockets of powder.
Just driving in through the town of Cormac, we were busting through drifts in our trucks and our trailers just to get in today. So we sort of knew that today we weren't going to get where we wanted to go. It's too bad it's so windy.
I didn't notice the wind.
Perfect day in Newfoundland, you ask me.
I'm from a small coastal community called Virgin Arm. It's located in central Newfoundland on the northeast coast in Notre Dame Bay. We get decent snow home, but nothing comparable to the west coast. The west coast, right here where we are, is right in the snow belt. We come to Deer Lake, Newfoundland. The hospitality here is second to none. There's always sledders rates in the hotels. There's lots of restaurants, lots of parts, service, everything for your snowmobiles.
There is serious snowpack here. The snow in some places is up to the roof on these cabins. You're talking like 15 feet of snow. It's aggressive out here.
Okay, so usually when we ride, we pretty much push each other. Troy is the kind of guy who just takes a line and he's either makes it or don't make it, gets stuck a lot. I sort of size up a line and don't like getting stuck, but we usually feed off each other, and if one guy does it, the other guy is going to do it.
I find it very hard to say no. I like pushing myself beyond my comfort zone. It makes me a better rider. It enhances my skill level. It pushes me, it gets the heart ticking. And I love it, I love the feeling. Yesterday I had tried, you'll see on film, I had tried a little jump and a climb. The climb, it turned around, it got tangly.
We were doing some riding in the trees, and I could hear Troy in the distance just going up through the trees, and I said, yeah, he's going for something, right? I could see him through the trees, so I was like, I seen her when she went right up like that and come over. And then it came down and endowed. and then he ended up into a big birch tree. So I start up my sled right away and take off to see if he's all right, and sure enough, he was into this big tree, but everything was all right anyway.
And ended up with my 2016 free ride backwards into a big birch tree.
Okay, that one don't go to Mom.
That's what you guys do at Newfoundland, eh?
Yeah, pin.
There's a section there of the snow where there's nothing touched. It's like, how did this snowmobile end up here?
She ended on you, buddy.
I saw you going up and I saw you wheeling, and it got nice up there.
Videotaping?
Oh yeah.
Ski-Doo, built tough.
Some of the greatest shots on all of the SnowTrax filming and DirtTrax stuff is those moments right before something goes catastrophically wrong.
Yeah.
And most times people don't know, but it's like, oh, that looks so awesome. I was like,
don't see the him.
yeah, like the week after that, and recovery wasn't, but glad you liked it.
Talk to people, I say, well, how fast were you going? I was doing it by Mach Chicken. And they're like, well, how fast is Mach Chicken? I say, it's just that point where you still somewhat, by the grace of God, maintain control, but you're just... That, my friend, is Mach Chicken. I know, that just feels good.
Actually, the temperature's good. It's not too bad today.
No.
We were rolling sleds over and tipping them down hills, and Troy was just showing off there. I mean, doing backflips and all kinds of crazy stuff. He was having a good time, but it was really fun. Perfect.
The Newfoundland and Labrador Snowmobile Federation, I mean, we have 900 plus kilometers of trail network, and it is well taken care of. They groom it quite often.
It's different than back home where you go from restaurant to restaurant or town to town. Here, there may not be a town or a restaurant that you're going to. So in between, they've got these nice little warm-up shacks. The groomer stops and drops off wood, and you'll be out in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and there's a sign that says chalet with a little symbol on it, and half a kilometer up the trail, there's a sweet little warm-up shack with advertising on it and whatnot from the sponsors who help pay for it, and you can just sit down and have a good chat, get, you know, the feeling back in your fingers if it's a cold day. And we went inside one of them and you know, started up a fire, had a little snack because we were getting hungry, and it's cool because you'll have people just kind of migrate in as they're going down the trails and hang out, have chats, you know, talk about stuff, warm up for a little bit, and then carry on. I really was impressed with Troy, and I ever since I first met him, I was impressed with his kind of get her done attitude. I mean, he doesn't let anything hold him back. I mean, Troy's been through a lot with his you know, his motorcycle accident and having his leg amputated.
That's what gives you somewhat of a cushion.
He's gone through quite a bit, but this guy will not stop. He was pushing the limits the entire time we're riding. He's doing lines that nobody else will do. He's just going for it.
But then there's this. You pull on this, and you get more this.
That's exactly why Five Toes riding has taken off, why it's going to continue to take off, why if you have the opportunity, you should come out to Newfoundland and ride with this guy, because he's unstoppable. I mean, honestly.
That's the emblem from my motorcycle, I told you that, I think.
Oh, the accident motorcycle?
Yep, she's all beat up. SnowTrax television.
That's the kind of people I want to hang out with and the kind of people I want to ride with, and it's not holding back. So he looks at it and goes, yeah, who cares? I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing. And if I can help out people who are in a similar situation, well, I'm going to do that. And that's why Five Toes gives back. I mean, the guy's, you know, donated to the war amps and to all kinds of different societies who help people who've been through what he's through. And, you know, if there's somebody out there who's had a passion for snowmobiling or a passion for dirt biking or motorcycling, and you've gone through this and you're watching this show, get in touch with Troy. Look him up on his Facebook page or on his website and chat with the guy, because he's not inaccessible. He will talk to you. I mean, heck, he might even come visit you, or you guys might even ride together. Troy's the kind of guy who will go out of his way to help you if you're in a similar situation.
Since winning at North America's Top Snowmobiler, I kickstarted Five Toes riding. It was a dream of mine for, well, I've been an amputee for almost 9 years now, so I wanted to be able to give back to young and old amputees. I sell clothing, hats, hoodies, and shirts, and with a portion of every sale, I give money back. I put into a give back fund, which I pick who I donate to. The last 2 donations have been given to the War Amps Champ program, child amputees, and I do motivational speaking. I go in the hospital, I talk to amputees, young and old, tell them what they can do. I mean, it's a pretty negative thing to wake up in a hospital bed, or, you know, just lose a limb. It's big. And people are negative about it. So I do a lot of things. I ride snowmobile, I ride dirt bikes, I run, I play sports, pedal bike. I mean, I'm very active. And I just like to show the world what it is possible to do and help out where I can.
We enjoyed the day and found some neat little pockets, some cool side hills. There was lots of wildlife out here too. I mean, I'm running through the trees and all of a sudden, I didn't know what they were. These little white birds, they're kind of fat white birds, start running out of the forest and they're running along the ground. And sure enough, they're partridge in the wintertime.
Just waddling around and running. They're not, I was actually gonna try to dive off and grab them.
Adam says, oh, just wait. These big chubby birds fly into the trees. They're kind of like a fat blue jay and they're white. They fly into the trees and Adam says, oh, it'll land right on my hand and take the food out of my hand. I'm like, no way, that only happens at like your grandmother's house in the movies. And no, the bird comes over, flies into his hand, flies into mine. I mean, it's just cool, you know. I'm in an area that I'm not used to and having a blast and just seeing all these new things. I mean, this is what I do the job for. I love this. This is so cool when you get to come out with real good people, you get to have a good time, ride the best, the best sleds and in the best conditions with the best people. It's just, this is what makes this job enjoyable.
This trip has been a great trip. It's been a pleasure to ride with the guys from SnowTrax television, with AJ and my buddy Troy again. AJ is a really nice guy. Seems like he's a real down-to-earth guy. Pretty good skill level on the sled. I was impressed with him. He's sort of like us guys. He's not the mountain pro rider, and he's not the guy that can't get around either. So,
If I was riding in the future, I'd like to move it into the motivational speaking side of it, and also do snowmobile tours / ride clinics. Take people in that are, they want to see the area of Newfoundland. I mean, Newfoundland is pristine, it is beautiful. We get stormy days, but it is nice.
I am blown away with what this place has to offer. I mean, it's the little West Coast. It's the East Coast, West Coast. There's a little bit of everything. There's trail riding, there's mountain riding, there's cool scenic things to go see, like the Sinkhole and the Gorge, and there's just a whole bunch here. This area has a lot to offer. It has genuinely nice people. It has amazing accommodations. If you have a bucket list for snowmobiling, you need to put Newfoundland on it, because the people, the places to ride, the conditions, and just the overall experience is something that you don't want to miss out on. I mean, come out here, give the East Coast a try, because this place is pretty incredible. If you enjoyed the video that you just watched, like it, and then subscribe to our page for more great content from SnowTrax TV.